Hi, and welcome to the third instalment in my Great Guitar Build-Off Scratch Build entry for 2022. In this video, I'm going to be starting work on the fingerboard, and I'm going to be using a not so typical method of cutting the fret slots. So I've got here a nice piece of ebony. I've gone ahead and planed one face completely flat. I've then thicknessed it to around 7mm, and then I've put a line that I'm going to use as the centre line. I'm not sure how well that's going to show up, because as much as I like ebony, it's a pain to draw on, or a pain to see anyway. So we have our centre line. I have put a perpendicular line here which we're going to use as our reference. I've marked off the width at 44mm. So let's just mark off where our strings are going to go. So I am marking 3mm in from either side of the nut width, and then at the other end I'm marking the string positions on a perpendicular line at the end of the fretboard. It's just then a case of joining the two marks together. I then go in and mark off the 3mm from those strings to the edge of the fretboard and join them with the nut width. So before I do any cutting out, I'm going to mark on where the 0 fret will go, and that way we can work out where the nut end of our fretboard is, and we can also work out where the other end of the fretboard is. And now some more tedious marking ensues. I mark off the position of the 0 fret and the end of the fingerboard at the nut end. I also mark off the fingerboard at the body end, and finally I mark off the position of the perpendicular 9th fret, and this will be the only fret position I need to mark to cut these fret slots. So next, before we do any fret slotting, let's cut the fingerboard out. So when I was setting the bandsaw up for this cut, I realised that I couldn't see the lines on the ebony at all. So I've just stuck a couple of pieces of masking tape on to make sure I cut well outside the lines, and then we'll finish it off with the hand plane. So now we have our prepped fingerboard, we're ready for slotting. So how are we going to slot it? You know, I'm glad you asked. So I've always wondered, is there a way to make fret slotting more accurate? My previous 5 builds have all been done with a ruler, taped to the fretboard, marked off as accurately as I possibly could, and then slotted. And there's never been a problem, they've always worked perfectly well, but I just wanted something a bit more precise, hopefully. A little time ago, I was doing some decorative wooden edging in the house, and I wanted to cut a 45-degree angle, and the mitre box that I had been used and had broken. So instead of buying another one, I thought, let's 3D print one. So I came up with this simple 3D print, and that led me to thinking, would it be possible to 3D print a mitre box for a whole fretboard? And here's the answer. Is it an unusual way of doing it? Absolutely. I thought it was a little bit different, and it should get accurate results. So at just under 40 hours of printing, it was fairly time consuming. The multi-scale neck wasn't the easiest thing to work out, and I've run a test piece through it, and it seems to work very well. But I'll let you be the judge of that. And that's why I said that I only need the vertical fret, because I line the vertical fret up with the vertical fret of this, and everything else should slot into place. So as you can see, I've notched either end of the mitre box so I can get an accurate centre line with which to line up the fretboard. Now I know a lot of people would use the masking tape and super glue for this, and I do use it on occasion, but this double-sided tape I have never had any problem with, and it's just so much easier. Right, let's get this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's the vertical fret. Centre line. There we go. Not bad. It's worked out rather nicely. Obviously, I'll have to go over the fret slots once we've radiused the fretboard, but for now, I'm happy. And I think I'll leave it there for this video. And next time, we'll work out the fretboard's position on the neck. We'll slot the neck for the truss rod, and stuff like that. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.